Welcome to Generation Flux. I'm Casey Gerald, and I'm joined today by Rachel Haot, the Chief Digital Officer and Deputy Secretary of Technology for the state of New York. But I want to talk a bit about today your mission and your journey, which I read one place was to democratize technology and give everybody a voice, right? I mean, what was the earliest moment when you realized that that was really what drove you?
I've been exposed to technology since I was a kid, and I remember when the internet started to take off with consumer-facing products. That was my first introduction with things like AOL and Prodigy. But it really took a long time before the publishing technologies, that I think were one of the first waves of allowing people to have a voice, emerged. And so it was seeing things like Dig and blogging platforms and Facebook that inspired me. And then I had this stint as an intern with the U.S. mission to the United Nations, where I saw a disconnect between the awareness that the public had and the incredible potential of these technologies to democratize that awareness, or at least to cultivate more of that awareness. So it was around that time that I had the idea for Ground Report, which was a citizen journalism platform that I founded, that was that first spark when I realized we could certainly make a difference here.
It's so exciting to hear you talk about your job in government with the same passion and excitement and almost freedom as you hear a 5-person startup CEO talk about his or her job. But one of the defining traits of our generation, right, seems to be this lack of faith in government. What really gives you this broad and deep and abiding faith in your role and in the role that government can play in change?
People who work in government and people who work in technology, from an interest standpoint, from an ambition standpoint, are not so different. They want to change the world, they want to make an impact, they want to do it at scale. I think, like most situations where there's a lack of trust, one of the factors is communication. So these might be two different spheres or worlds where we can't translate between them. They're speaking different languages. And one of the great aspects of working in the Bloomberg administration for the city of New York is I really felt like a startup within city government. We had the support we needed, we had the access to innovators across government, and we were able to really get things done. And so what happens when you get down to it is you'll actually find a lot more alignment than differences.
I saw you say somewhere that we've always got to be preparing for the future, always planning 3 steps ahead, like a chess match. But here at Fast Company, the editor, Bob Safian, and this idea of Generation Flux is really almost saying the exact opposite, that the world is so unpredictable, that change is so chaotic, that things are in such flux that you can't predict the future even if you try. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it's a false dichotomy to say that because things are changing so much, we can't plan for the future, because that's how you achieve great things. You have to have big ideas, and you have to lay out plans to achieve them, and you have to follow through, and you have to execute. And I think that is more possible than ever before today. One of the things I should note is my son's middle name is Mars.
Oh.
And, and this sort of reflects one of the views that my husband and I have, is if you look at the big picture, where we're going as society, one of the really exciting areas to look at is space exploration beyond this planet. And I think that the space program is one of those examples of amazing things that government can achieve.
I love that. I love that. Seriously. Thank you so much.
Great.
For that. You heard it here first. Rachel Haot is helping us get to Mars and beyond. Thank you for joining us.